What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bring the Thunder podcast. The last day of an amazing offseason for Oklahoma City. They extend Jalen Williams 5-year up to $287 million with no player option at the end of the deal. Another win for OKC. They keep the big three intact until 2030-31. And I'll leave it to Jack. Jack, what are your thoughts immediately?
Presti did what he had to do. Jalen Williams is easily our second best player, all-star, all defense. Wouldn't have won a chip without him. Big part of it. So, what else does he matter to do? You can't let him walk. Got to pay the man. He deserves every penny. So I'm really happy with this. It does give me questions about what is going to happen 3-4 years time with the contracts. Now that I think J-Dub, Shai, and Shed are taking like 70%, 80% of a salary cap just to pay those three. But luckily we have Sam Presti and not a GM like whoever the Bulls or Warriors have, because I know Presti probably has it sorted. But so I'm not too stressed out about it. But yeah, I'm really, really happy that we have Jalen Williams locked in.
I guess it's more like a live in the moment type thing. We'll discuss later down when we have to. Satveer,
yeah.
2 questions for you, because I know you're our contract guy. Immediate thoughts, and then break down the second apron for me and what this means for OKC moving forward.
All right. So immediate thoughts is we got our core for the end of the decade. So I'm really happy about that. It's just like we're the second youngest team to win an NBA championship, and these guys are nowhere near their primes, all three of them, which is crazy to say. So that was my very first initial thought. And then from like a CBA perspective, there's so many things going on with this, and I think the buzzword is second apron, so I'm going to stay away from that one. But the CBA is going to be renegotiated, so these deals will seem a lot friendlier than what they seem in hindsight right now. On top of it, Presti's a very shrewd operator when it comes to deals. I mentioned that in my own videos, and essentially what he's doing with these guys is he's not giving them much flexibility, but he's giving the most flexibility to the organization. And that says a lot about the guys, and, they trust in him to make the right decisions. And it frees up the roster in terms of like roster construction and building moving forward. I think the baseline for his deal was like $246 million. It's reported that it can go up to $287. So he clearly took a 2.5% bonus instead of the full 5%, which is what I predicted he would do, similar to what J-Dub did or Chet Holmgren did. So his escalator was all NBA. So he'll probably get that this first year in 2026 because he hit that mark. And then moving forward, I don't know the exact details of the contract, but the way Chet's is he only has 2026 to get either an all-star or all NBA to get that escalator, to get that 30% instead of 25. So J-Dub has the opportunity probably next season to get that 30%. And then moving forward, he may have more chances at 30%. I'm not sure exactly how it's negotiated, but he could have more bites at the apple. But at the end of the day, we got these guys locked up, at least I think up to 91% of our full cap space. And that seems bad when I say it out loud to most casual fans, but it's really not that untypical to have. Like, there's so many other organizations that have 3 high-end, players locked up. So this is just kind of typical. And at least I can tell you, like, we're in a better situation than a team like the Celtics, where their 2 core guys are making up as much as our 3 core guys. I'd rather be in a 90% with 3 core guys that are much younger and have higher opportunity to grow than, be stuck with like a Jaylen Brown type of contract where he hit all NBA. So the fact that these guys are giving money back, they're signing more team-friendly deals, and the fact that we're also signing them soon as they come out of winning a championship, so they're way more likely to give back money, but also we're not waiting until they're first team all NBA and we have to pay them the full escalation and they're asking for the full exact dollar amount, whereas they're being a little bit more friendly right now. Maybe in the future they're not going to be as friendly, and I definitely predict that once they're like hitting their prime, each of them are going to ask for every single dollar that they have earned throughout their careers. But for right now, they're, more focused on winning, staying together. Those things are more top of mind to them. And that's what it should be. You win first, get your rings, and then you ask for as much money as you deserve over the next several years, and that's what these guys will do. That's what I'm most excited about.
My take here is you lock up your guys, and that's all you need to do. But correct me if I'm wrong here. These contracts are expiring at 30, 31, where the CBA they're gonna have a new meeting. It's not gonna be the same. Aprons might not even be there at that time. So I think OKC is really playing their cards right here because they might have more let's use the right word here. They might be able to spend more in the future without getting taxed or having to lose their players when that contract is up.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like the second apron is definitely gonna get reworked. Currently, it's not favorable to teams that drafted certain players. I think that's the one change around they'll probably make in the new CBA when it's renegotiated. The other one is going to be around restricted free agents. They're kind of getting screwed over. We see Josh Giddey and Cam Thomas and others that are kind of sitting in free agency, but there's not cap space because all the teams are limited on cap space. So there's not much movement for those guys. So I think those are the two things that'll be renegotiated, and both of them favor us because we're always going to be having in-house players that are restricted for the most part. And on top of it, we want to draft our own guys and, sign them longer term. So hopefully that happens. If it doesn't, either way, I think it'll be fine regardless because the cap will continue to rise, and it's risen a lot. And I think a 10% rise would help us significantly. Like that can, restore maybe us not having the repeater tax, which is something everyone dreads. And then on top of it, if we do end up eating some tax on like a Dort deal down the line for a year or two until that CBA is negotiated and then the percentage goes up, it'll look a lot less heavy on our hearts. But I do want to remind people, I did some research. In 2018, we, as a ownership group, that 2018 team wasn't all that, but we paid, I believe, like 60 million in taxes, maybe 80 million in taxes. With that Russ, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony team, we paid like 60 million in taxes for them, and we thought they were contenders. So I'm sure this ownership group is willing to pay 60 to 80 to at least 100 million for these guys. So if we do need to eat some tax here, this is the perfect time to do so, because in Oklahoma's history, they typically aren't eating tax often. So when they are contending, they're ready to do so. So Sam Presti has saved these guys so much money over so many years. So when he does make that ask, like, hey, I need to keep my 4 core group of guys together, are you willing to pay 100 million? It's like they should say yes. And that's probably my prediction, is they do say yes.
Jack, what does this mean for like the right now? What does this mean up until 2030? What are the expectations? I know we're coming off the championship. I mean, what are your thoughts with teams are getting better, but we're still here. So what are we going to do?
I think we're just competing all the way. For as long as we have these 3 guys, we're just competing for championship. Presti can bring in anyone in the draft who can plug and play. We saw it with AJ Mitchell last year. Like, we can go out and find cheap rookie contracts, guys that we can just put in. If we lose some players, then it's fine. But as long as we have these 3, we're going to stay at the top and keep fighting for it. There's just going to watch winning basketball, and we're all going to be here to enjoy it, I guess. But
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I mentioned yesterday, like, this is kind of OKC, like Presti and everybody just saying, all right, I got these 3 guys. These are our guys, and we're going to keep them. Like, they have full faith in these 3. Obviously, they just won the chip, so why not? But they have full faith for them to, continue to grow, continue to get better, and lead this team to, more success down the line, which I think is great, and I think the players feel that. I mean, Shai saved them a couple million. Chet saving them a couple million. J-Dubs, I think, is fully guaranteed. But, I mean, the players are buying in, and I think it's just a perfect time to be an Oklahoma City fan and a player as well.
Sure.
You
muted, Seppi.
Here. I was going to mention a couple things for J-Dub real quick, if that's all right. his stats in his breakout season were a career best 21.6 points, 5.3 rebounds, 4.3 assists on 48% shooting from the field, 36 from the three. He did not have a drop off, even with a torn ligament. The only drop off that he really had was like a 4% difference on his field goal percentage. And then he had a 6% dip on his 3-pointers. But all the closeout games or games that we needed to close out series, he performed really well. Like in game number 7, it looks like he put up 20 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals to seal that victory. And even in the Denver series, he played well in game 7. So it's like, man, this guy's an absolute dog. Like, I'm so glad we signed him. He's always happy just to play basketball. That's what he talks about a lot. And this team is doing it all in terms of staying together as friends. And I'm happy with the present. I think as fans, we shouldn't think about, oh, we're going to lose this guy or lose this guy. We should stay in the present and worry about the fact that we have an opportunity to go back to back. That's where our mindset should be, not on a 2026 free agency or anything like that. Like, we got the core group right now signed, and most of them are signed until 2027. So we have a 2-year window here where we can make things happen, and that's what our main focus should be on.
Yeah, you have the 2 years, and then outside of that, I mean, it'll be like 1 to 2 players that'll end up having to go, but we're not going to worry about that yet. You got your trio locked up for the next 6 years. So it's easier to replace role players than it is to replace an all-NBA type talent. So be happy you got your trio locked up for 6 years. They're not going anywhere. And it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning for these guys.
Chet or J-Dub could be a number 1 option and be a franchise piece on any team. And we have them as number 2 and number 3 or 2B, 2A. So
right. Jack, I was mentioning yesterday, like, Chet hasn't even scratched the surface offensively yet. J-Dub put up 40 in a finals game. You think he's going to come out more aggressive, more he's going to be much better to start the season. His confidence is going to be through the roof. He's going to be healthy. And he's going to have his wrist back. So
he'll have 2 hands, yeah.
I mean, I mentioned a stat here yesterday. Like, he averaged 21 points last year. I'm looking at like 25 points per game next year. Like, he's going to get to the line more. He got to the line a lot in the finals and in the conference finals. Super aggressive. This team's it's just the beginning, I promise. So I mean, $822 million committed to 3 players over the next 6 years.
Yeah, it seems daunting, but I personally don't think, like, all the deals that are getting signed, people were freaking out probably about the Devin Booker signing. I think the Suns are making great moves. I don't know what they made as organizational changes over there, but like $72 million for Devin Booker is a good deal, in my opinion, in the current economy. We're going to see these guys start hitting annual average salaries of $100 million soon. And I think for the American market, people think that's not typical, but I watched a lot of soccer, and guys like Ronaldo by himself makes $200 million. Like, people don't understand that there's a lot of money in sports, and these deals are only going to rise. So,
bring it back to the NBA. Jalen Brown makes over a third of what you combine Shai, Chet, and Dub to make. I mean, he'd make a $300 million over 5. So, I mean, I think we're in a pretty good spot here.
Yeah, I fully agree. There's a lot of teams that'll do similar deals like we have with 3 core pieces once they figure out how to navigate the cap space. We're also uniquely in a position where we have picks to move, not just, to move into the draft, but we can also package them to relieve salaries. We can also pick up favorable salaries. People forget about that a lot when it comes to picks. Like, there's 3 different ways to use them. So we have a lot of flexibility. And then we also signed some of the best undrafted and 2-way guys. So there's a lot of talent coming into OKC. We see that in the summer league, and we have a game coming up here in 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then one more thing with our current roster. I mean, we have so many team favorable contracts. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, J. Will, Alex Caruso's even a good contract at this point. So a lot of flexibility for the future, and still the reigning NBA champ and the best team in the Western Conference coming up in the 25-26 NBA season. So super exciting stuff. Super exciting stuff. I'm happy for J-Dub, guys. I really am.
Yeah, he got a lot of stick after kind of his Denver series, and I'm glad he kind of cleared the air with his video, mentioning his injury and then kind of explaining that it's nice that we get a way deeper look into all these players. So super exciting stuff here.
But yeah, just to wrap up, J-Dub, the third and final part of the big three, 5-year, 287, up to 287 million. I guess that's what you get when you're the second youngest team in NBA history to win a title. So we got our big three locked up for the next 6 years, and we will keep you guys updated on anything else roster move related. I don't see much left to do, and Summer League is starting today in the Vegas. So we'll keep you guys updated again. Appreciate everybody for watching. If you're enjoying the content, hit the like, subscribe buttons, and we will see you next time. Thunder up, baby. Let's keep it rolling.